Are you looking for a way to scale your short-term rental business and buy more properties? Well, co-hosting might be the right fit for you. Welcome to the Co-Host Coach podcast with Joe Roney. This episode of the Co-Host Coach is brought to you by Savvy STR Agents. If you're looking to buy a short-term rental, then contact the STR Savvy Agent team at savvy.realty.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Co-Host Coach. I am Joe Roney, and today we are going to talk about timing. And what I mean by timing is the timing is now. So if you are looking to hire a new property manager or a co-host if you own properties, or if you're a short-term rental owner or getting into co-hosting, today is the day. We are almost to Thanksgiving, which is going to be coming up next week. And right now is the time to go out and make that change. And let me explain why. So, we are getting ready to start booking season for summer, which typically starts around Christmas Day. So, that doesn't mean the whole summer is going to be booked by Christmas. However, some of these property management companies, the ones that get guests that come year after year after year, are going to start placing those bookings on their calendar for next year. And as those calendars fill up, it's going to be harder for an owner to make a decision to make a change when they already see they have a full calendar. Now, that calendar may be full at a much lower rate than what they could be getting. And I'll give an example. We ended up taking over a property last year, and it was around this time that we started having that conversation. But by the time the owners decided to make the decision, that property management company had a 90-day notice, so they had to wait 90 days for that property management company's contract to end for us to be able to take over and start co-hosting. Well, this pushed us almost to May. Now, that property management company had filled the entire calendar up all summer long at about $900 a night, and I was looking at everything like there is no way this house should be renting at only $900 a night. In the peak season, it should be closer to $1,300, $1,500, even $1,800 a night. So they were leaving a lot of money on the table. We started having the discussions early on, but by the time they did make the change, the calendar was full. Now, they were very fortunate that this property management company was able to cancel all those reservations, move them to other properties that they managed. So we were able to take over an empty calendar and start filling. And we were able to take that property from averaging $929 a night to averaging almost $1,300 a night for the summer without even going live until May. Now, I say that we actually went live in May because that's when we actually took the property over and started co-hosting it. But as soon as we signed contract in February, we actually created the listing off of the existing pictures before we were able to make a change and started booking out the summer months. And this was huge for multiple reasons because we were able to start filling up the summer ahead of time. And I think we could have probably filled the summer up at a higher rate if we had had the new updated pictures on February 1st. Actually, I know we would have been able to. But we did put our design in the actual short-term rental listings, let people know that we're booking it, that a brand new design and a new updates were coming in early May. So we were able to book that most of the summer up before we even got to make the changes. And that helped put the owner at ease because they got to see a full calendar. It helped us, help them make more money, which is obviously our goal. And it was a win-win for everyone. We ended up doing about $15,000 more in revenue for the first 90 days than the property manager that had the property before us already had completely booked out. So win-win for everybody. So right now, we're like I said, we're right just before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is coming up next week. A lot of owners, they're coming to the end of the year. They're starting to get their statements from their property management companies. They've already realized they didn't make as much money this year as maybe they did the year before, or maybe they made the same. So they're already probably frustrated at where they're at, and maybe they're self-managing and they just have realized it's a lot more work to manage these short-term rentals than what everybody was to believe. This space over the last couple of years blew up, and a lot of people thought, oh, this is a get-rich-quick scheme, and we're going to go in and buy all these short-term rentals, and we're just going to manage them ourselves. And that is absolutely great. I love doing it. Not everybody does, and there are some owners out there that maybe they've realized after one or two seasons of doing this that they don't want to get those 9 o'clock phone calls on a Friday night, or they don't want to have to go down and fire cleaners and hire new cleaners or whatever it may be. So, we're in that off season in most busy markets, and I'm specifically talking vacation rental markets. We're, in some of the areas we're still maybe finishing up peak season, Branson, Pigeon Forge. And then obviously for ski markets, we're just coming into the peak season there. So if you're in that ski season, or if you're in that peak season of like Scottsdale, Arizona, wherever it may be, this may not be exactly the best time for you to be looking. Now is going to be the time for you to really, be identifying properties for when that off season comes around. But if you are in the off season in your market, this is the prime time to be looking and talking to owners, looking at their properties, and talking to them about making a change and showing them what you can do. So we are actually in negotiations with about 2 or 3 different owners right now to potentially take over a few properties. And we know that it's still a process. Even if we get them to sign contract with them today, they may have to put a 60 or a 90-day notice in. So that's pushing us, into mid to late January or even early February. Well, busy season, especially in my beach market, is March. We really kick off in March. And I ended up adding 4 co-host properties after February 15th last year. And all 4 of those properties ended up really successful and had really great years. So I'm not saying now is the only time for you to do it, but it truly is the best time, especially if you can get someone to make a change quickly and you can have their listing live and up and ready before Christmas Day, because that's truly when those summer booking seasons are going to happen. The other great thing about taking over a co-host property during the off season is that you get to learn the property before you're in the peak season. You get to actually, figure out some of the, little things that might go on with a property that you got to help and get maintenance for. You might, find some areas that need some additional things that might break, and you now know them early on, rather than, they were, deferred maintenance and didn't happen until you took over a property peak season. We had one property we took over last year, basically March 1st, and we had a completely full calendar for the entire month of March. And we had some maintenance issues that we were trying to handle in between, guests, because there were just a few deferred maintenance items from the previous manager. And that's okay. But doing it now and making that change now would help eliminate some of that and help you get into these properties to spend a little bit of time understanding them, knowing them, and getting them ready for the peak season. One of the, podcasts that I've listened to before, they talk about, going into off season and preparing your homes for battle, right? We were in our slower season now until the end of February. So now is the time that you're going into these homes and preparing them for the war next year, for the battle, for the peak season. So if you're already co-hosting properties, now is the time to be going into these properties, doing some updates, doing some, looking at all your counts of your linens and getting your supplies together and understanding where you're at and all that kind of stuff. So that's for the properties that you're currently co-hosting. But if you're wanting to add to your portfolio and help more owners make more money, this is truly the time to be out there and having those conversations and getting them ready to make a change. So just something I really want to talk about today. Like I said, we are getting to the end of the year. We only have a little bit. We have about a month until Christmas, and then that summer booking season is here. So it is in a way crunch time to really make these changes and get them going. So if you've been on the fence thinking about getting into this space, if you've been starting to talk to owners, this is the type of things that you can talk to with your owners to help them make that decision, to make that change and let you take over a property and help them out with it. Because, at the end of the day, we are helping owners make more money. We're helping their properties exceed, expectations is really what our goal is. And if we can do that for the owners, the sooner the better our 2025 is going to be. So, whatever your goals are for 2025, don't wait until January 1st to start going after those goals, right? I already know where I'm at on how many properties that we're wanting to add on by the end of this year and what our 2025 goals are to be able to get to the level that we want to get to. And, in order to do that, we have to have that written down. We have to have a plan, and we have to know exactly what direction we're going. So, definitely don't want to be flying by the seat of your pants. It's really, really important And for these owners to truly trust you and trust you with their properties, you want to have this plan in place so when you have those conversations. So really, really excited on my mastermind team just in the past week, and I'm filming this at the end of October. We've had multiple people in our mastermind just sign their first clients for their first co-host clients. These are a couple individuals that have joined recently in the past, basically the past 3 to 4 months, learning the process and getting ready to get into this space. Again, they already own their own short-term rentals, so they're already doing this. They've just decided to take that step and get into the co-hosting side. So really excited to celebrate wins for them. And there is nothing that makes me so more happy honestly is just seeing other people in this space win. And I want every single one of you out there to win in your business and what it's doing. And you're going to be able to do that by making those plans today and putting them into action. And like I said, timing is now. Don't sit around and wait any longer. Get up, make those phone calls, send those emails, make those appointments, and go out and make an impact on your 2025. So thanks for listening today. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time on the Co-Host Coach.